And welcome back, people, to the Pro Aging Podcast. We are on Season 2, Episode 8. And I'm very excited to be here because, as always, I have very special guests for you. Now, you've all heard the adage, we are what we eat, right? Well, this is a gal that really walks the walk and talks the talk. And I've actually seen her journey from when she started this profession of hers. I'm sure many of you know her name already. Sarah Wragge, the founder of Sarah Wragge Wellness. She is more than just someone who talks about a diet or an exercise or a product or a supplement. She is a lifestyle brand. And I've seen this happen firsthand with my own patients. Some New York magazines called her the best nutritionist. Curbs magazine has called her best nutritionist. She has degrees in holistic medicine and healthcare. She is certified as a functional nutritional coach as well. And she's just a great gal that I've known personally and professionally. And we've really developed such a working relationship with so many patients. As you know, I always like to say I'm the last 10 pounds, not the first 10 pounds. There are no quick fixes. And health, weight loss, nutrition is always a journey. It's a pro-aging lifestyle, and there's no other brand I know that exemplifies that lifestyle as much as Sarah Wragge Wellness. So thank you for coming, Sarah.
Thank you, Paul.
I was in this gal's wedding party, so we go back a long time ago. Her and her husband, Chris Wragge, we have a long competition running. He's far more athletic than me, but we have other competitions. And I'm just so happy that we finally get to speak about your journey.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I am honored to be asked to be part of this, and let's have some fun.
Yeah, let's do it. So I'm going to ask you the first question, which I think I hear you speak a lot about, which is your personal journey. You know, I was listening to a podcast yesterday. Let me see if I get this quote right that someone said, that we can best serve others in this life like people we once were. Meaning if you've been through the fire yourself, right? In my book, I talk about my insecurities as a child that make me good at what I do. So clearly there's something about your journey that makes you good about, your wellness program. Tell me a little bit about that.
I mean, you just hit the nail on the head. I suffered for a long period of my life. As a teen, into my college years, I had inflammation and acid reflux. I was in and out of doctor's offices trying to figure out what was wrong with me. They told me they diagnosed me with GERD and gave me Prevacid and Nexium and told me to sleep with my bed at an angle, and that would help with the acid production.
Sounds like my lifestyle right now.
Like it was just, it was like always trying to figure out what was wrong. I went to a doctor that told me, I had such inflamed joints. The doctor said, you have rheumatoid arthritis. And they wrote me a prescription for methotrexate. I was 18 years old. And I knew in my young brain at that moment, there was something else at play here.
In your gut, you knew it.
In my gut, like pun intended, right? And nobody ever asked me about my diet. Right. In fact, some people were telling me to put milk and to soothe my stomach, and the Bragg's diet to coat my stomach to make it less acidic. Yeah. It kind of blew my mind, and so I literally turned a health crisis into a career. And having suffered and gone through that journey on my own, I ended up coming upon a woman who was a holistic health coach and acupuncturist. I hired this person to help me. I went on an anti-inflammatory diet. It was a Candida protocol cleanse. I started doing acupuncture and infrared saunas. And long story short, 2 weeks into this, I was off all my medications. I was feeling like a completely different person. Yeah. Sleeping through the night, the energy I felt was just incredible. And I decided to run the New York City Marathon. Wow. My sales numbers at my marketing job doubled. My whole life got better when I decided to focus on what I was feeding my body.
Right. And was there a specific program? Was there books that you read? Because obviously you have your own methodology, which we talk about now, but clearly what works for one is not for everybody, right? Was there a certain method, like a mentor that you saw?
Yeah, I hired a holistic nutritionist, and she had gone to the Integrative Institute of Nutrition in New York, and she put me on this specific Candida protocol cleanse. Yeah. And she handed me this book. It's now a very old book. It's called The Body Ecology Diet by Donna Gates. And everything that I read in that book and every part of this protocol resonated. It was like they wrote the book for me. I was like, that's exactly how I feel. That's what happens to me after I eat this kind of food. And so it was really a holistic anti-inflammatory diet that I was first introduced to that really changed my life.
So I'm sure you, of course, as you evolved your own business and your style of working with so many different type of people, you've kind of, developed this type of thing. Is it something, what you learned through your own experience, something that you think works for everybody, like a problem that everybody has? Like how did you develop your mojo in terms of outlook of patient? Does everyone follow the same diet?
So I think, again, through the years of trying different diets and protocols, reading a lot, going back to school myself, and understanding that at the end of the day, most people come to me to lose weight. Yeah. Right? I'd say 90% of my clients want to lose weight and get lean and look better. Yeah.
But it's a bigger lifestyle picture too, right?
It is a bigger lifestyle picture.
It's not just in and out calories.
That's
here.
right. That's right. And it's not a quick fix.
Yes. It's a journey.
Correct. And so our methodology is based on the science of blood sugar balancing, which allows us to really look at it. Basically, we help you optimize the amount of time your body burns fat every day through balancing your blood sugar. And that also allows you to have a glass of wine and have some bread once in a while, but we're very careful and methodical about the timing of that. In addition to the blood sugar balancing piece, we add in a whole piece about alkalinity and acidity. As that was my first entryway to this kind of world, I am big into anti-inflammation. Yeah. A lot of the things that we love to do, exercise included, alcohol, caffeine, dairy, and sugar, are inflammatory and acidic to the body. Yeah. And so we have to always be, I have a joke like ABA, always be alkalizing. We always need to neutralize that acidity and be aware that our systems are trying to always be more alkaline. Yeah.
Plus also, it's about, I think we live in a culture where everything is looking for a quick fix, right?
Absolutely.
What's the diet? What's the shot?
Right.
What's the surgery?
Right.
What's the this? And again, most people are surprised when I say, no. If I smell a poor lifestyle, then I know that I have to talk to them, say, you have to go see my friend Sarah or this doctor or that doctor in a team, because the quick fix doesn't work. It's a journey and it's a lifestyle. And I think that's what impressed me so much with your work. You're almost like you're a wellness psychotherapist.
Yeah, there's
ways.
a lot of hand-holding. Yeah. There's people love regimen and routine, right? You and I do. I live for a good routine. Yeah. And if I know I've got to follow these steps, so we created 10 steps to the SWW method to follow every day, and that helps keep you on track.
And that is pretty much the same for everybody.
Yes.
Oh, it is?
Yes,
okay.
For everybody. It's something that anybody can tap into throughout the day, from waking up and having a liter of water before your coffee to creating alkalinity in the body through hot water with lemon. Some people do apple cider shots. Some people do green juice or raw greens powder. To making sure that you're being purposeful about your meals throughout the day. The average American snacks 17 times a day. Now, you don't possibly have time to do that, but a lot of people are sitting in their cars, or they're reaching in their purses, or they're feeding their kids lunch, and they're just eating 17 times a day. Yeah. You don't need to eat that much. Yeah. And so it goes back to those insulin levels. We want to help drop those insulin levels so you get to a fat burn state between those meals. And underlying all of this, Paul, is behavioral changes.
Of course.
Behavioral changes is the secret. If we can get you to change your behavior and stick with us long enough that you feel so darn good that you don't want to feel not good. Yeah. Plus, so you get back on track.
It's also, I remember you always you're reinforcing different behaviors. I remember when you worked in sales and you were taking clients instead of out for martinis. Yes. You were going to Soul Cycle.
Correct.
And you're reinforcing different habits that are healthier. Because we all know there are friends that we can go out with for cocktails, and there are other people that want to go to the gym together.
That's
Not that you can't have a good spectrum of friends, but certain influences lead to certain behaviors, certain people lead to certain behaviors, and we have to filter our lives.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yep. And I like to get my highs in different ways now. Like I love, I've always loved exercise. Yeah. And I think bonding with people, like that's when I created that sweat working kind of movement. Yeah. It's a great way to create a bond. And it's a great way to bring rhythm and routine into your day in a healthy way. And once you do those healthy practices, it's almost like, I read that book called Make Your Bed that the Navy SEAL wrote. And it's basically about like completing a task the moment you wake up. It feels good to do that. It feels good to drink water before you have your coffee. Yeah. You're hydrating your body before you're putting more acid into your body. And so these this method that we've created helps keep people on track, and you don't feel like you're deprived or you're starving or you're counting calories. It's actually kind of fun.
Well, you're also monitoring. I always talk about in the pro-aging lifestyle, it's not just about adding, it's about subtracting. And the fact of the matter is, it's tough to tell someone to stop drinking 100%, to stop doing this 100%, stop doing that.
That's right.
If you moderate things and just realize that, it's not about cheating, it's about treating and looking at things like alcohol and staying up late or having a night out or something like that. These should be, when you start feeling like they're a regularity, they're no longer a treat.
That's right.
And then if you feel bad about yourself because you are doing it once in a while, that's not good either.
Exactly. We live in such an extremist society. Yes. Good, bad, right, wrong. I'm cheat day. It's Monday. Diet starts Monday. It's like, it's the wrong way to think. In fact, when we start with people, I'm like, can we pretend like your name is Pierre for a moment and that you grew up in Paris? Because I want you to have a little bit of the baguette. I want you to be able to have a little bit of the cheese. I don't want you to think, there is something that we call the oh fuck it spiral, excuse my language, oh F it spiral. And it's like once you start, you go down that spiral. And here we are, people are down that spiral at the end of the summer right now.
And then you have stress, and then you have this, and you have all these things. People eat their feelings, and they do all these different things. It's tough. It takes an army.
It does take an army.
It really does.
It's a lot of work to plan out. How are you going to feel your body today? When are you going to feel your body today? How are you going to move your body today? What are you going to tell your body today? You're super into TM. I mean, it is a way that you get a new high as opposed to eating sugar or
and it controls cravings and things like that, because we could all go down that spiral. So, obviously, like with patients I do certain procedures, but everyone has their own version of their problem. And I know certainly with your type of clientele, everyone's searching, right? They all have therapists, endocrinologists, weight loss specialists, wellness coaches, all these things. And I'm sure you have people with real medical issues, right? Maybe they had thyroid problems. Maybe they early menopause, andropause, which is a real thing for men too. And these people are seeing other professionals. Do you coordinate with the other professionals? How do you work with them? I mean, listen, you and I coordinate, right? You say, hey, I got this guy. He's really hit a wall. He's lost all this weight, but it's frustrating. Can you help with that last 5 to 10, Paul?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I love coordinating with you on patients and clients because it helps us be more effective. And at the end of the day, you and I are working to the greater good of this person.
Absolutely.
We now have developed relationships with a lot of concierge medical doctors and endocrinologists that will reach out to us for help on the behavioral changes part of the equation. And we work with them in tandem. We also work with a team of private chefs to help support concierge services for our clients.
Really?
And we work with a team of trainers, and we, acupuncturists. We do a lot of work with Kevin Menard out east. Because, I'll send someone to Kevin and I'll say, well, what do you think? And he's like, she's not going to lose weight. Her adrenals are shot. And he's going to treat her for adrenals with herbs and tinctures and acupuncture in tandem with a protocol of food that we're going to put them on.
Kevin Menard is a very renowned acupuncturist who resides in Sag Harbor, Long Island. He actually opened up an amazing CBD apothecary, which is really spectacular. And I've used him myself for personal and professional resources. And I really think this is one of the most important things about when you go to any type of provider. Anyone that says their own expertise is the only one that you need I think you have to be very cautious of.
Agreed.
Because, I refer out to many different, not just other cosmetic surgeons, but to other people that could help me out.
Yep.
I just think people have become so highly specialized, and it's important that we have a team effort. And when you have somebody who's like, oh, you don't need that, I hear that sometimes from trainers and things like that too. They're like, patient has lost all this weight, they've done various things for themselves, they're frustrated, they hit a wall, and they're like, oh, we're going to just do more sit-ups for that little pinch of fat, or we're going to just do this. Instead of being like, well, you know what, you've come a long way, maybe you should talk to a dermatologist.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or on the other spectrum, there are people like, oh, we're going to suck that out, and then if you gain more weight, we'll do it again in 10 years.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's not good either.
You have to have a team. You have to have a team effort.
You do.
I know that there's such a hot item out there with these diabetes drugs.
Yes.
We talked about working with other doctors, endocrinologists. For those of you in the audience, there's a whole new group of medicines that have been approved for type 2 diabetes. They are being studied for longevity because they're involved in sugar metabolism.
Correct.
And they're also great for people who have mild to moderate weight loss. These are called GLP1 inhibitors or agonists, and they really, I think, have been quite groundbreaking. I've seen so many patients of my own. Are you seeing patients?
Yes, I'm seeing clients come to us and they're coming already on the medication, or they're doing a check-in with their general care practitioner halfway through a program, and they're doing great with us, but the doctor's saying, okay, your glucose transporters are still looking sluggish. Let's put you on some medication.
Well, my biggest concern with these medications is that I think they will provide safe and effective weight loss, non-stimulating, and in a way that doesn't affect your mood or anything. Well, my concern is you got to stay on these things forever.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because what they do is these medicines affect the satiety hormones of the body. They tell you they're full. They slow digestion a little bit. They're not without side effects. People could have diarrhea, constipation, nausea, but overall they're very well tolerated. I've seen really amazing things because the fact of the matter is, whether it's a cosmetic surgery or with someone coaching you along, sometimes it's metabolically tough. You do need a little push. And I find that my concern is that people are going to use it and then they're going to go back to their own ways.
Right. I think we need to be careful of, okay, I'm going to go on this medicine and it's now my new crutch. And so because I'm not that hungry, I could eat like half a pizza. Or I could have half a Chick-fil-A sandwich. And then the thing is, you go off the medication and it all comes back. So it goes back to those behavioral changes. If you need some medicine for a metabolic boost, okay, but you have to follow diet and lifestyle and exercise practices if it's going to last a long time. Yeah.
These medicines, one of them is called Ozempic, one of them is called Mounjaro, Rybelsus. There was a big article in actually Town and Country just recently about what is it, thin rich or rich thin, and now there are tons of people in wealthy areas that are just using it for a quick cut down. It's funny, it's not that different. I think I used to do Prolon, which is the 5-day fast, which I haven't done in a while, but I would do this 5-day fast for I think 3 times a year, mostly after vacations, right? Because I'm drinking, I'm eating, I'm doing all these things. And it's funny, when you're eating sugar, what do you want?
More sugar.
More sugar. When you're drinking alcohol, what do you want?
More alcohol. More alcohol. That's what I always say. It's so funny.
So after a vacation, when I'm kind of fed up and disgusted with myself, I would do this 5-day fast. And I think it did for me what I think some of these medicines do.
Correct.
They kind of you not only lose a few pounds, but it really cuts the cravings. When I come out of it, I want to eat slowly. I want to eat less.
Right.
And again, we all go off the wagon. It would take a few months again before my next vacation. But again, it did something hormonally to reset my cravings, because we all love the word willpower. Stop doing drugs, stop drinking, stop eating sugar. But it really is difficult for people. It would be nice if these medicines really pan out on a longevity scale.
It's funny, I say that these medications are actually doing medically what I'm trying to do with you behaviorally. So what I want to do is take you from burning sugar to burning fat, and inevitably make you metabolically flexible. So what you're experiencing when you go on a fast like Prolon is your body's tapping into its fat stores for energy. Yeah. And I always say the reason why you're fat on the outside is because you're not using fat on the inside.
Right.
And the truth is that we can actually store up to 30,000 calories of fat in our adipose tissue, our fatty tissue, which means you can go for 5 days with no food. And so when people are like, I can't work out unless I've had a snack, and I'm like, that's just not true. Yeah. That's just not true. Yeah. You just, there may be a little suffering because your body's like, hey, dude, where's my glucose coming? Where's my sugar hit coming from? And it doesn't get it. It gets angry and you feel lethargic and you feel fatigued.
They're basically eating those candy bars that are marketed for energy. Right. Like they need, you're basically, I mean, these are candy bars. Correct. Okay. And you're eating it for a workout. And then by the way, sometimes, like I go to a SoulCycle class. When I first started doing it years ago, I actually gained a few pounds. And most people, it wasn't muscle. It was just I was starving after a class. I normally don't eat a big breakfast. But after that, all I want is a bagel and a pizza.
Right, I know.
You know
when someone's like, oh, I'm like, what do you do every day? Like I start my day with SoulCycle and then I have, a cup of oatmeal and I'm like, uh-oh. Yeah.
Well, the thing
cardio
is,
and carbs.
We live in a world now. We are marketed such trickery with the bars and the processed stuff and the low carbs and the high fat and the this and that and all these things. And it really, a lot of people would say, "Oh, I don't need a coach. I don't need someone to tell me how to not do it." But you know what? Well, it's not about coaching. It's about education.
Correct.
And we could all use. I am a healthcare provider. I am a pro-aging specialist. I've written books. I am picking up tricks every day how to live a better life because I'm as tempted as the next person to have that dessert. And it's not that I don't want to enjoy my life. I just want to live the best and healthiest. And I'm willing to take as much input as possible. It's better than flipping on social media the bad content.
And trying to educate yourself. We call it health washing. I mean, you look at someone on Instagram who has a great set of abs and they're like, I'm a vegan. And then next thing you know, I'm doing a consultation and someone's like, well, I follow so-and-so. I just decided to go vegan. And I'm like, whoa. Okay, so what made you do that? It was a picture. It's just misinformation.
This is a great stepping stone, which I didn't think about. So how do you deal with people's, and I don't know your personal outlook, I assume everything is different for everybody, but people with certain dietary restrictions, whether it's someone who's kosher, who's limited to a certain amount of fish or shellfish, to people who really feel like they want to be vegan for ethical reasons. How do you deal?
We curate every single lifestyle plan to that individual. So what I've done over the last couple of years is I have a team full of different coaches and nutritionists with different specialties.
You got a vegan coach, you got this coach,
the vegan
only
girl,
the beer drinking girl, I got it.
Right, we've got a registered dietitian nutritionist. Yeah. She actually specializes in eating disorders. We get a lot of eating disorder patients. Yes. We have a clinical nutritionist who specializes in women's hormone health. Yeah. We've got 3 integrative health coaches with different certifications, a NASM certified personal trainer, a yoga instructor. So depending on who you are on the consultation is who I'm going to pair you with to work with, if it's not myself. And then the program is written for you and your lifestyle. So whether it's kosher, PCOS, it's some other form of hormone imbalance, it's a fertility, someone's trying to get pregnant, or someone who's struggling with menopause, we're looking at all of those individual cases and writing a plan for that person.
In the big picture, I don't want to be too political here, but is a vegan diet, I mean, usually if one can, do you recommend a balance of meat, fish, things like that? Or are you someone who's like, meat is toxic?
No, I'm a balanced girl.
You're a balanced girl. That's how I am.
I'm like, and you and I go out to eat and stuff. We eat the same. Yeah. Like I call it the SWW plate. When you look at your plate, I'd like for half of that plate to be vegetables, whether it's roasted or leafy greens. And then I'd like a little bit of that to be protein and an even smaller version to be the carbs. Yes. And I'd like you to eat in that order. Veggies, then protein, and if you're still hungry, go for the carbs.
Because that's how it affects your digestion of how you do it as well.
And it affects your blood sugar.
Yes.
So if you coat with a blanket some beautiful vegetables, and then you eat some protein, which helps balance blood sugar and keeps you sated, and then you put the carbohydrates in, it acts as a little like buffer for the carbs.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching your plate
There
next
you go.
time, especially make sure there's no tequila there.
Make sure there's no French fries.
Exactly. Well, how does the tequila fit
With
into the plate?
tequila, you start with that.
with
That makes
the
you feel
tequila.
really excited to eat the vegetables.
Exactly. That's amazing. So your plan is really very formalized, and do you give it in written form?
We do. Yeah, we actually create a beautiful binder that gets delivered to your home, and it has not only your plan, but it has the 10 steps of the method, and it has our different modules. So it teaches you a little bit about blood sugar balancing, alkalinity, hormone health, exercise, nutrition. And we actually have a group coaching program that we're launching again September 19th called the SWW Method. And we talk about all of these modules, this little lesson plan in this group coaching program.
I see like a weekend getaway
Yes,
type
a little
of
retreat.
thing away. Maybe we can go back to the Dude Ranch
Yes,
in Wyoming,
yes.
right? That would be good.
Yes.
I'm sure you see people who struggle, right? Not everyone is 100% success story. Anyone that tells you every procedure, everything is 100%, they're lying.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You see people with rebound, they fall off the wagon. Is there a certain length to your program, and then you have like a maintenance type of thing?
Yes.
Is it different for different people? How do you keep people on track? I'm sure you're getting phone calls, people like, I'm going to eat the ice cream.
Yeah.
I'm at dinner.
Yeah.
Come here and stop me from ordering that dessert.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, we do. I mean, so we start everyone with 12 weeks. Okay. I think it takes 12 weeks to make a real change,
behavior.
Right?
Yes, that all psychiatrists
12
will say
weeks.
that.
It's like
90 days.
We teach you, we hold your hand through it, you do it on your own, and you don't need us anymore. Once that 12 weeks is completed, we move you to a subscription program. So depending on what your needs are, whether you need to talk to your coach 24/7, a weekly call every other week, it's a specific subscription model, and we have people who've been on subscription for years at this point. So they just keep us in their pocket. I have a woman I've been working with. She's a Parkinson's client who's had incredible success. She's been my client for 4 years.
Wow.
I speak to her every Thursday morning at 8:30, and she is like, she's my ride or die at this point. We have a great relationship.
Yeah.
So 12 weeks into a subscription.
That's amazing. I think I'm going to gain 30 pounds just to go on this plan. People keep telling me I'm getting too skinny.
Let's use you as a case study.
I know. I like that. What's your secret sauce to get through your day? And it's mostly family.
It's family. It's family. And, I do need a couple of things to make me me. I need sleep. Like, I am not good on no sleep.
You're not getting up at 2 a.m. with Chris?
I'm not good on no sleep. Like, I will try. I could try to go to bed around like 10:30.
Yeah.
And I have a pretty strict / fun PM ritual, I call it, like evening ritual that I love and adore. I do my infrared sauna.
Oh yeah. You have one in the house?
I have one in the house.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the beauty of living in the burbs. So
I
Chris
love
and I
it.
gave it to each other for Christmas, I think last year or the year before.
Do you have matching
I
ones
was
or
like,
they
should
one?
we get this for each other? We have one that we could both go in.
Right.
And then I do like some form of lymphatic, like paddle or brush.
Really?
That's
amazing.
I'm very big into this, and if you don't do it, I highly recommend it.
I don't know if I have the time
I
to do
know.
it. I get
No,
my
but
TM in twice a day.
Yeah, it doesn't take long. It's 2 minutes before you jump in the shower at the end of the day. Or
What
a
parts
bath
of your
or
body
whatever.
do you do it on?
So I do the entire body, and I do it in a very specific. We actually teach our clients to do lymphatic paddle
Really?
because it helps kind of release that fascia. Your
Yeah.
lymphatic system is your garbage can,
Yeah.
right? It's the way that your
Yeah.
body detoxes, and it's important to stimulate the lymphs so you can drain your lymphatic system and detox.
I agree. It takes maintenance. You have to be committed to it. I mean, we have a lot of cellulite treatments that involve deep massage mixed with radio frequency and ultrasound and a much more things because the lymphatic system, the vascular system as a whole, as we get older, it becomes less efficient. It's got to be moved along.
Yep.
And it's great, but I say it's like skincare. Like if you want to see results from skincare, you have to be consistent. You can't like do it for a week and then change techniques and then not do it. Everything, I think we could agree, the theme of your expertise and the theme of my expertise, it's not about short-term plans, it's about long-term goals. And it's about, I can't fix someone and then never see them again. I always joke around, we're like one big pyramid scheme. You know what I mean? Because people come on board and I want them to be engaged and enjoy the journey. You can't make it too easy or too difficult for them.
That's right.
And I think that's the skill of what we do, is to empower people, reinforce them, to keep coming back, not just for our financial gain, but for them to learn how to enjoy the ride. Yeah. And feel good about themselves.
Right. And why are you doing it? I think, like we always say to clients, what's your why? Because you need to know that. Why? What's my goal and what's my why? And then when you wake up every morning, what is going to get you closer to that goal? Every decision, every small decision you make, from are you going to eat that donut on the way to work? Or are you going to have that bagel after the SoulCycle class? To, am I going to take my supplement that Sarah suggested? No. Or am I going to have that 4th glass of wine? Like, what is that getting you closer to the goal or not? Yeah. Sometimes, by the way, having another glass of wine is getting you to the goal of having fun.
Yes.
Right?
And sometimes you need to do that, but you have to change the psychology about way people think. You can't be always a chore. It's a blessing. I always say it's a blessing to get older. Everyone's complaining aging's a bitch. I say, but getting older is a blessing. Thank God for modern medicine. Mm-hmm. Most people never grew old enough. They never lived long enough to see wrinkles develop or cellulite.
It's true.
People didn't live to menopause.
Right.
They died in childbirth. Right. The average age just 150 years ago could be in the mid-30s before you were getting Botox. Right. So you have to look at these, and thank God we have modern medicine and expertise of people to help us out, and all these resources, because I think a lot of people come to you and me, their first goal is they want to look better. Right. But when then they realize how it makes them feel. Right. And by the way, getting Botox and filler and a little bit of getting rid of sun damage, it's not just the way you look. It empowers you when you see the way you interact with the people. And when you lose weight, what it does to your energy levels, your sexual levels, everything. Everything. Right? You cannot create that feeling. You have to work for that feeling. Yeah. No drug does that. No drug does that. That is 100% true. Yeah. Well, this is really a comrade in arms here, because we've always been so on the same page, and this reinforces us. I see so many of your patients come to me for that last bit, and they don't come to me upset that they hit a wall. They come to me with, I've been with Sarah for like 6 months, a year. I look the best. I feel the best. I don't mean to be greedy, but like, if you could do something to get me to the next step, I'll be that much happier person, because the last thing I want from a patient is someone that comes in, and I'm sure you have this too, with inappropriate expectations. Right. Right. They get a drink, they get a smoke, they get to do whatever, they get to eat whatever. Sarah says I can drink wine, I'm going to have like a bottle of wine a night. And those are just people with bad expectations. Yes. Right. They need other types of therapists than you and me. And I have those recommendations too. So what I want most, other than to get on your own plan myself, I'm going to look at my plate. I'm going to look at the balance. Eat your plate tonight in that order, Paul. I'm going to look at that plate tonight. Is I want you to look into the audience, and I want you to tell them how to find you. Okay. Okay. Okay, great. So you can find me on sarahwragge.com. And you could also find me on Instagram at Sarah Wragge Wellness, and we are now on TikTok at Sarah Wragge Wellness. And you may even find pictures of us together in like Hampton's Magazine or something like that. Anyway, darling, I love you so much. You too. I'm so glad to share our profession and our friendship. So fun. All right, guys, we did another pro aging podcast in the can. Thank you for joining. I mean, if this isn't enjoying the ride, people, I do not know what is. We will see you soon. Bye-bye.